All right, so we're continuing our journey on finding zeros, and zeros can help us graph and all that good stuff. So today we're going to talk about the remainder and factor theorem, and I'm going to take you back to elementary school, and we're going to recall what happens when I do 14 divided by 3. And so the 3 goes on the outside and the 14 goes on the inside, and I know that looks like square root, but it's supposed to be division. So would you say 3 goes into 14 4 times? And so we say 4 times 3 gives me 12, and then we subtract, and we get a remainder of 2. So we could rewrite 14 as 3 times 4 plus 2. So 3 is the divisor, 4 is the quotient, and 2 is the remainder. So notice 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 plus 2 makes 14. All right, so you're like, what does that have to do with math or with math analysis, right? So here we go. The same thing can be true for polynomials. So if I take that function and divide it by x minus 2, I can do this. So we're going to say what can I multiply x by to get 2x squared? So I'm saying this x right here, what can I multiply this x by to get 2x squared? So hopefully you're screaming that I would multiply it by 2x. And then just like the next step in the previous problem, we did 4 times 3. I'm going to do 2x times all of this. So 2x times x is 2x squared, and 2x times negative 2 is going to give me negative 4x. Okay? So then we need to subtract just like we subtracted the 12 in the previous problem. So what happens when you subtract is you're going to change everybody's sign. So this becomes negative 2x so that when I add, they cancel. And this becomes positive 4x so that when I add, I get 7. And then we're going to bring down the 8 just like you normally would. Same question, what do I multiply x by to get this term? So now the term is 7x. So hopefully you're screaming that we would multiply by plus 7. Don't scream too loud, especially if you have siblings still taking school. Anyways, so we're going to take the 7 and we're going to multiply it times the x minus 2. So that means I have 7 times x is 7x, and 7 times negative 2 is negative 14. And again, when we subtract everything, we've got to change their sign. So 7x becomes negative 7x and they cancel. And then negative 14 becomes positive 14. So then negative 8 and positive 14 gives me 6. So notice I have a divisor of x minus 2, the one that's on the outside. I have a quotient of 2x plus 7, and I have a remainder of 6. So just like we did with the previous problem, we can say the function, so that's what we call the dividend, the number on the inside, is equal to the quotient, the divisor times the quotient plus the remainder. So f of x is the dividend, x minus 2 is the divisor, 2x plus 7 is the quotient or the answer to the division problem, and 6 is our remainder. So if you haven't had a chance to write all that down, you can pause the video. I'm going to go ahead and move forward. All right, so since it has a remainder of 6, we would say that x minus 2 is not a factor of f of x. Now, here's something interesting. Same dividend, but now instead of dividing by x minus 2, I just want to find f of 2. So we would plug 2 into that problem. So I have 2 times my new 2 squared plus 3 times my new 2 minus 8. So take a moment to get your calculator out or work this out a little bit, pause the video if you'd like, and see if you can come up with this answer. So 2 times 2 squared is 2 cubed, that's 8. 3 times 2 is 6, and so we end up with 14 minus 8, which is 6. And what I want you to notice is in the previous, I did the dividend time divided by x minus 2, and I got a remainder of 6. And now I plugged in 2, and I got the function to equal 6, where x is equal to 2. And so what we say is that that polynomial at that r value is the same value as when I divide the polynomial by x minus r. So f of 2 was the same as f of x divided by x minus 2. Okay, you can also use synthetic division as a shortcut. So notice I took all of the coefficients of each of the variables and put them across the top. So synthetic division says drop the 2, and then you do the 2 in the corner times this 2 gives me 4, and then you take their sum, so 3 plus 4 is 7, and then you're going to take this 2 times 7 and you get 14, and then you add those together and you get positive 6. And so the 7 is your x to the 0, the 2 is your x to the first power, and so your dividend or your function is equal to the divisor, x minus the number in the square, times your quotient, which is what you get to the left of that line, which is 2x plus 7, plus the remainder, which is 6. All right, so if we take a look at the first example, it's saying take this dividend, divide it by this divisor, and then write it in this format when it's all said and done, okay? And it is okay at dividend if we just say f of x to save a little bit of time and space, okay? So the first thing to check before synthetic division is I have to have my exponents in perfect descending order. So 3, 2, 1, nothing, I'm doing okay. So then I have to take the opposite of this number. So I want negative 3 in my corner, and then I want each of the coefficients. So 1, 4, negative 3, and negative 5. And then between the last 2 digits, I put my line because what's in the box is going to be my remainder. So we drop the 1. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. 4 plus negative 3 is 1. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Negative 3 plus negative 3 is negative 6. Negative 3 times negative 6 is 18. And negative 5 plus 18 is 13. So when I rewrite this, I can say that this is the function, meaning x cubed plus 4x squared minus 3x minus 5. The function is equal to the quotient, the divisor, we did that first, right? So the divisor times the quotient, so this is x to the 0, x to the first, and x to the second. So we get x squared plus 1x minus 6, and then x to the 0 is just 1, so 6 times 1 is 6. And then we would say plus the remainder, which is 13. Okay, so if we take a look at the second one, what I want you to notice is we are missing an x to the first power. But if I add in x to the first, I've changed what I have. But if I add in a 0x to the first, I haven't changed the value of my function because 0 times anything is 0. So we're going to take the opposite of this 1, which is negative 1. And then I've got 1, I have negative 2, I have 0, and I have 2. So just to let you know, synthetic division should only bring your degree down by 1. So a third degree polynomial comes down to a second degree polynomial. If you ever make a jump of more than 1, then you had some sort of coefficient missing in here, okay? So take a moment to pause the video and see if you can come up with this answer. So we're going to drop the 1. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 3. Negative 1 times negative 3 is 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. And negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. And then 2 plus negative 3 is negative 1. So this is x to the 0, x to the first, and x to the second. So we can say that my function, meaning this cubed part here, is equal to my divisor, which was x plus 1, times my quotient, which is x squared. We get minus 3x, and then we get plus 3, and then plus the remainder, which happens to be negative 1. So like I say in almost every video, I'd love to be able to say any questions, but I can't hear you. All right, so I'm going to pause this and head over to the PowerPoint. So the factor theorem says that if I want x minus r to be a factor of the polynomial, then when I plug r into the polynomial, I get 0. I can't get this to click. Hold on, there we go. Okay. Okay, so what I want to figure out is if I call this f of x, right? So this is my dividend here. If I can do f of 1 and get it to be 0, then I can say that I have a a factor, but if it's not equal to 0, then it's not a factor. And then the good news is I don't have to plug this 1 into the function and cross my fingers that I do it right with all these cubes and squares and all that. I can do synthetic division, and the remainder would be the same value as if I plugged in positive 1. So that means I'm going to take the opposite of this number, which is positive 1. And then I notice I'm missing something. So I have a third power, a second power, a first power, but I don't have a nothing power. So I need to add in 0 to make sure I get the correct final answer. So I've got 2, -3, 1, and 0. And again, if you had forgotten that 0, the way that it would remind you is you would have ended up with an x squared. And I'm sorry, an x to the first. So we can't jump from x cubed to x to the first using synthetic division. It can only go from x to the third to x to the second. So if I drop the 2, 1 times 2 is 2. -3 plus 2 is -1. 1 times -1 is -1. And then that sum is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. And I get a remainder of 0. And so this one, it didn't say that I had to rewrite it. All I need to recognize is I have this remainder of 0. And that's the same value I would get if I plugged 1 into the function. So because the remainder is 0, that means that x minus 1 is a factor. And then just to show you that it's a factor, we could say that f of x is equal to the divisor x minus 1 times the quotient. So this is x to the 0, x to the first, and x to the second. So it's times 2x squared minus 1, and I don't have a remainder, which means x minus 1 has to be a factor. All right, so take a moment to pause the video and see if you can answer the second one. All right, so this is in perfect descending order, 3, 2, 1, nothing. So I'm going to take the opposite of this number, which would be positive 3, and each of these coefficients, so 1, -1, -5, and -3. So dropping the 1, 3 times 1 is 3, -1 plus 3 is 2, 3 times 2 is 6, -5 plus 6 is 1, 3 times 1 is 3, and -3 plus 3 is 0. So this is x to the 0, x to the first, x to the second. So again, because I have a remainder of 0, I can say yes, that x minus 3 is a factor. And then the proof of that is if I rewrote this, just like we did on the previous example, I would get that the function, that cube function, is equal to the divisor x minus 3 times the quotient, and we get x squared plus 2x plus 1 using these numbers right here, plus no remainder, and so that means each of these is a factor. So I apologize if this seems a little glitchy. I had a little issue. All right, so to factor completely, we can factor what's called the depressed polynomial. So when we did that problem, we ended up with x minus 3 times x squared plus 2x plus 1. Okay, so it doesn't matter if I put the x minus 3 in the front or the back. So this squared right down here is down 1 from 3. And when you're depressed, you feel down, right? So this is called your depressed polynomial. And so what you're going to do is factor that. So do you see that what multiplies to give me 1 that adds to give me 2 is 1 and 1. So my fully factored polynomial is now x plus 1 times x plus 1 times x minus 3. So the depressed polynomials help when we're trying to factor high degree polynomials.